All right, so first thing, we've got this PSD, and this is how you generated all of your patterns. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new file just by saving as and changing the name of it. So this is Drawing Patterns Full. I'm going to change it to Drawing Patterns 100 because you're going to come up with 100 versions of these patterns with just different colors. And keep it a Photoshop file. Because you do want to be able to edit this stuff later. So you're creating two documents that are full size. And then what I'm going to do is hold the control button and I'm going to delete these groups. And then I'm going to hit control S to save, because I just need these patterns that I've made, these 3 JPEG individual layers. I don't need the portions that I used to generate it. So what I did was I went into image adjustments, and I'm going to kind of bump the contrast in these because I want to try and get like a really dark and a pretty solid midtone, and then kind of a bright white. So you see how adjusting that image brightness and contrast gave me a more varied range. Then I went into filter. Now I'm on the cutout tool and I'm adjusting these levels. I want to look and see what number of levels looks good. And that one looks pretty good. So I'm going to do this all again. Image adjustments, brightness, contrast. I'm going to work with these sliders until I get a design that I like. So I get a pretty good range of items. There we go, right in there. It's pretty good. Now I'm going to use filter gallery, the second filter gallery. And I do a couple control minuses so that I can zoom out a little bit to sort of see my whole pattern here. I'm going to adjust these levels and edge simplicity again to generate a nice pattern that's selectable. So I'm going to adjust this levels, and you can kind of see how that one gave me a little circle in there. That's kind of nice. All it is just it's math and using your pixel information to sort of create averages and then drawing shapes that correspond to those averages. So here's the last one: image adjustment, brightness, contrast. Mess with these sliders. I always bump the contrast first just to kind of increase the difference between the black and the white. Now I'm going to go to filter, second filter gallery. Control minus, cutout filter. You notice like these sliders really do change your designs here, so messing with those sliders is key. Cool. All right, so now I've got 3 files that look more like a cutout block. I guess I didn't like that one. I'm going to redo it. So I'm going to bump the contrast again all the way, reduce the brightness. And I'm noticing that the brightness, if something is white, it doesn't actually make it less white, but it does make everything else darker. I'm going to control Z, or control minus, hopefully. Maybe not. That would zoom out. I could see my whole pattern. Okay, cool. That's a little bit more solid. Edge simplicity kind of just reduces the amount of detail. There we go. That looks a lot like a cutout. So that's big blocky shapes. That's going to be kind of nice. Perfect. Cool. And now I'm creating these things. I'm putting them in groups. Okay, you'll need to do this. Once this is done, save your file, Control S, and we'll move on to the next part. I'm going to duplicate and generate some patterns.